everyone. This is Phoenix Kawamoto with the Greater New Paltz Community Partnership, and welcome to the next installment of Insights. We are again recording remotely with Lee Livermore from Upstate New York Poison Center. And Lee, welcome so much to the show, and thank you for being willing to do this with us today.
Well, thank you very much for having me and allowing me to represent the Poison Center.
Great. It's so good to have you. Today's topic, everyone, is alcohol and underage drinking. And I know that for a lot of parents, Lee, this topic doesn't get discussed as often because there are so many other quote-unquote scarier substances right now in our everyday lives that are demanding more attention. But we know that youth and underage drinking is a very important topic. So can you share some information and some of your thoughts regarding that for us?
Absolutely. This is a perfect time topic for myself. I have two teenage kids. My daughter's 19. My son is soon to be turning 18. And when we do look at drugs in the grand scheme of things, alcohol tends to be very low on the list. And a big part about it is that it's legal. However, we want to keep in mind the developing brain of teenagers, which goes from the age about 13 to 25. So anytime they're consuming anything, it has an impact on the brain, no matter how minor we might think that it is. Is it scarier than marijuana or cocaine or pills or other drugs? I think yes, because it can impact their learning ability. Some of the risks of underage alcohol use is brain development. Are they learning? Is it impairing their ability to participate in activities that they should be focusing on? Could it lead to a form of dependence? That they have one drink and it's no big deal, and then they have more. But alcohol is also considered a gateway drug in order to try and perhaps experiment with some other drugs. And we want to look at teens and also parental attitudes towards underage drinking, that there's a myth out there that it's a form of celebration, it's a rite of passage. Some parents go, well, I did it when I was their age, so it's no big deal for them. Or I'll have them drink in my house as long as I'm home, and that way I can watch them. Just because it's legal, it doesn't mean that it's okay to do that. And parents put themselves in jeopardy legally if they're allowing underage kids to drink in their home. And sometimes we look at the attitudes that it's everywhere. Everybody drinks. It's legal, not a big problem. But it really is a problem, and we need to pay very close attention to it. So the first step towards awareness is making sure that you're beginning to have some conversations with your kids about alcohol.
Great. I know that one of the things that I tend to talk a lot about with parents and with youth is, making important decisions, and in the moment, if I'm under the influence, my decision making is impaired. So things that I normally might say no to certainly become more of a risk, And, in looking at this, a lot of parents will say to me, how do I start the conversation? And I'll encourage them to seize the moments, not look for having like the big talk, but more those windows of opportunity. If there's a news story or something like that comes up, where you can make it relevant to the moment and to the point that you're trying to make. But what other suggestions would you offer in regards to parents talking with their teen about alcohol?
Well, that brings up a great story. I gave some advice to this one woman that when you're riding in the car with your kids, if you have one-on-one time, you've got them captured for that time frame. And it's a good idea to strike up the conversation then and make it conversational and also respect them. Just give straight talk. Kids know what's going on out there today. So this one parent said, well, geez, your dad and I both drink beer, and we drink two different kinds of beer at home. If you were to drink, what kind of beer would you drink? And the son gave the mother a response as to which one, and it opened the door and made it a little bit humorous, but it also put the issue right on the table that there is alcohol in the household. Both parents are drinking, and that does have an influence because kids model behaviors as to what they see. Um, they don't think it's dangerous. It's not like it's a big deal because everybody might be doing it. And one of the questions parents can ask is, are their friends or other kids at school drinking? Or if they happen to be part of a sports team or an activity, are kids in that group drinking? And what do they think about it? The other point is making sure you're capturing special moments, not to attack the kid and saying, make it like an interrogation, if you will, but just casually bring a topic up. And it's so easy to do that when you're making it conversational. I think when you start that conversation, you both will benefit from it.
Great. Yeah, and using opportunities like commercials on television or on the radio and being able to, tie in the media piece and how that helps, give an impression. What did you think about that commercial? What do you think they're really saying there? I mean, there's ways to have that dialogue and also get a sense on how their youth is being impacted by media. I know we have some great resources on our website as far as conversation starters, tips for parents around, you can get into a little bit more detail with this topic. And, with all of these segments, they certainly, they lend themselves to much more investigation and research online. There's such a number of resources available. But thank you, Lee, for, again, sharing your time with us and these tips for parents. And we'll look forward to seeing you again in another installment that I know is coming up soon. So take good care, everybody. Thank you so much for watching, and be well.